Alright, hello everyone. I'm gonna get started here. I'm on the World of Tanks 9.20.1 test server here. Just came up earlier today. Main change with this next update is British heavy tanks are changing a bit. You can see Super Conqueror here replaces the FV215B, which if you own it, it does stay in your garage. Turns into more or less a tier 10 premium, but doesn't earn any more credits or anything. It can accept other crews. But anyway, Super Conqueror, new tank in this patch. As far as the playstyle, pretty similar to the tier 9 one, which let me actually check off this. As you can see, the tier 9 Conqueror actually gets a new top turret as well. So they're very similar as far as how they're going to be playing, but more or less, let's hop into it here. Unlike other streams, I'm not going to be taking tank requests, at least right off the get-go here. I'm going to wait. I'm going to play, you know, a few matches here, just covering some of the tanks that are changing, and then hopping back onto the NA server. Which I know some people, since YouTube's been doing some pretty, whether they're noticeable or not, they've been doing some pretty big updates over the past week. If your chat's not working, sometimes if you clear all your cookies, but also if you hop over to the gaming.youtube.com URL for the stream, that fixes your chat if you're having problems. Alright, all the settings kind of got screwed up, which the FV4005 got updated too. Basically, Britain receives the bulk of the changes in this patch. Other tanks that are changing a bit, Type 59 gets buffed. The T49, the Sheridan gets a pretty significant buff too. Its shell damage raises from, I think it was what, 360 up to 390. I think it was 360, and along with that, I'm not gonna want to go up here. This isn't very fast going up hills. The AMX 13105 also sees its alpha raise up to 390 as well. But other tier 10 lights get small little buffs here or there. Except for the poor, even though I thought it was the best tier 10 light tank, the Chinese WZ1321 essentially only receives more ammunition capacity, because it was fine where it was, because it's the best tier 10 light. The rest of them are just having to catch up to it now. Alright, maybe I should have went to the hill, because they're going to have some trouble. Yes, I am going to try to show the mission interface. Even though I actually didn't pop into it before starting to stream here, they might have mentioned that they didn't implement it yet in this phase of the test. So we'll see if it's actually in or not. I'm probably gonna get shot at least once here. But essentially the Super Conqueror, and even the Tier 9 Conqueror, they lose a little bit of mobility. However, they gain some frontal armor, and especially on the turret front, their armor is pretty significant. You're basically, how I'm gonna relate them is, statistically, they're close to the T110E5 in a way. Definitely different hull shapes on the front. I would say the hull's a little bit weaker overall than the T110E5. However, the turrets, I would say, are better, just because if you're on a hill, even though you have one less degree of gun depression, you're capable of, you know, not getting hit in your cupola as bad, I feel like. But the turret front is pretty strong all across it, and DPM's pretty good, accuracy, aiming time, even on the move accuracy, where, you know, I think a lot of people are going to like the Super Conqueror, where you might have kind of hated the FV215B heavy. If you like the Tier 9 Conqueror previous patches, essentially just think a little bit slower, but with much better armor, and the gun is still excellent. Even though the gun gets toned down just a pinch on the Tier 9 Conqueror, I still feel like it's worth it as far as the changes. I'm just going to cap, because honestly, it's a test server. Who cares about if you get a little bit more damage here? Alright. Which I actually wanted to... which thank you guys for these sponsorships again. I'm still tinkering around with the sponsorship badge. You can see it next to Labobo and Andrew here. The image sizes for the emojis and stuff they're a little small, so I keep having to tinker around a little bit with them to get them to be visible. But I actually wanted to make sure this worked. I think you guys might like these, where now with the alerts, I have a couple little images up here as well for most things. Might be getting myself in a little bit of a trouble as far as this stuff goes. But anyway, the missions change here as far as... oh wait, crap. There we go. I was about to say, it looked like they took personal missions off, but it's campaigns now. They do have a video that kind of explains it. Alright, I already completed them. But essentially the personal mission interface changes a bit. I've already completed the Stug, of course, but more or less with this, they just made it look a little bit nicer. Really, it's the same exact layout and everything, which there is a new thing as far as orders, to where you can go up here. Maybe I do not. I was about to say, basically with orders, you're capable of skipping missions that you are not able to complete, but yeah. But I've already completed these here, but more or less it just looks a lot nicer than it previously did. But as far as the orders go, it's still kind of... yeah, they're still a little confusing, honestly. But I actually did want to hop into and see. Honestly, I'm just hopping on this as well, the test server, and figuring out some of the changes. Alright, the frickin' nations, they screwed up the order here since it's the test server. When I logged in, they actually... there we go. For completing the T-55A missions, I actually got unique camouflages for them. So they added a little bit more depth to them as far as the personal missions. For completing I think all 15 of them or something, like every single one it said, I got camouflages. I don't know. Honestly, I was a little bit confused, but we also have they changed the name of this, I think, finally, the M48A5 Patton. They changed the whole of it finally. It just looks a little bit different than it previously did. But anyway, getting back to the main changes, I wanted to hop into whatchamajig, the STB1 here, since this has a HD model now. Thank you very much, Uber, for tipping Levi here. Too many changes. But yep, he is down there snoring. But I'll probably say the first half hour here is going to be on the test server, and after that, here you go, bud. It's going to be the normal server there. Yeah, the camouflage, it's not just tied to the 55A, I believe. You are right there. But the STB-1, as far as the change to this tank, I believe its armor actually got a little bit worse off as far as the visual. Looking at the changes, it looked like to where it's a little bit easier to overmatch the turret roof. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, Leith and David and Flame. Nice to see you. Which hopefully, I'm so caught up in all the changes here. I'm pretty whooped from today at work. I literally went from when I got in 5 a.m. until I left around 3ish. I did not stop all day. Where I'm a little tired here. Honestly, my throat's killing me too. From hopefully I'm not getting sick, but I think it was just talking a lot today. But I'm going to try to hop into, you see a lot of people playing the FV 4005. I'm going to try to hop into that too, as well. Ryan's alright. She's at work now, of course, like always, but she's hanging in there. We got a few more weeks of this. Which I will say, actually reminds me, I wish I would have known yesterday since it was a Wednesday stream, but next Wednesday I will not be able to stream. I'm gonna be working, so I'm more or less likely going to switch Wednesday stream to Tuesday. So I'll still be able to stream in a morning stream next week. It just won't be Wednesday. It's gonna be on Tuesday. I just wish I knew about that yesterday. I just had to switch a day around with somebody. I'm definitely not Chef Ramsay. I would say maybe for about 15 minutes today I was a little bit angry for a few minutes. Rightfully so though, but it all worked out in the end now. Hello, Unicornal. Nice to see you. But more or less, this next patch coming up, honestly, it's nothing major as far as the changes go. It's like you have some UI changes, and primarily just, the British tanks being changed around a bit. But, there's nothing, not to say to get hyped up about, but it's more balancing changes, which is completely fine, but there's nothing, say, like map rebalances or anything crazy to kind of be interested in. But for anyone that likes British heavy tanks, British TDs, even the British mediums got a nice little rework as well. Essentially more turret armor on them, which they need it. This is definitely going to be a nice patch. And then some light tanks getting reworked. Hello, Super Cat. Oh yes, the Chinese premium. That did finally get kicked off. Which, that thing, not that many people are going down the Chinese tank destroyer branch, it seems like, but the premium Chinese TD is actually, from what I've heard and seen, pretty damn good for a premium tank. Since it's a TD, it's not the easiest thing to play, but statistically it's actually pretty good for being a tier 8, I think, premium. Hopefully I got the tier right. today's just one of those days to where I'm like all scatterbrained right now. But fortunately, not good business-wise, but I had another big Sunday brunch coming up for... I'm honestly, even my aunt is like, I don't know why people don't want to come to this. We partner with a local, it's called MAC, but it's Mid-Atlantic Center of the Arts. And it's a jazz brunch, so they have like live jazz musicians and everything, and there's brunch, you know, champagne, stuff like that. And it's actually really nice. I don't like jazz music really, but I think it's actually pretty decent. But you know, I was expecting it to be pretty busy, and 16 people. I'm like, that kind of sucks, but hey, it saves me a little bit of work. But that was just a little bit of a surprise for me going in today. I was gonna get ready, baking some stuff off and prepping things, and yeah. Which I'm kind of curious why nobody is shooting anybody here. Like, hello, Loki. Thank you very much, Nice Cuppa. And hello, Tig. But yeah, the tank request queue, I'll open up right before I'm going to be hopping over to the regular server. Which I almost forgot that too, Supercat, about the T71 differences. So the T71 we have here is the DA, that's currently in... crap. That's currently in the game already. They're adding the CMCD into this next patch. That way they can have two separate lines and not just one T71 branching to both lines. So it's just a small little change, but nothing major outside of wargaming. Wanting to create more work for me, and having to update every single guide that I have the frickin' tech tree on for that. Alright, I want to hop into the AMX 13105. So the difference between this in the current live server and now on the test server is it does 390 damage a shot, which, you know, doesn't seem like a huge change, but for a light tank, it's a pretty significant buff over what its old burst damage was. And also the Sheridan, as I mentioned, got a nice little alpha bump. So hello, Daniel. Yeah. Thank you, Graham, for tipping Levi. I was actually surprised. Honestly, I didn't have a ton of time to set the stream up, but I took him out for his walk, and he took the shortest possible route. Go get your treats. You know what they are. Hey, they're over there. Don't be a dum-dum. I live in a neighborhood, but it's kind of like an intersection, like a corner, and we can go 3 different ways, and he took the short route. I'm like, you love me, dog. I was say I was really caught off guard today with how many like regular covers we did at work for, you know, basically late September, and my freaking right foot is actually killing me. I need they're coming in the mail. I need new insoles for my shoes, and I'm hurting a little bit. Yeah, John found the first custom emoji. I actually have, I think I made I have like 2 or 3 other ones ready. It just, as far as the emojis go, they're based off of the amount of sponsors you have, so I think it's like another couple ones before another one unlocks. But I'm gonna be tweaking the custom emojis and images and stuff around, just because the sizes, I'm not really used to working with the small pixel count on the sponsor badges and also the emojis, to where I keep having to tweak them around a little bit. That way they're a little bit more legible, but I'll get there eventually. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Alright, so I am dead. Gotta love it. At least it's the test server here. I don't think anyone's gonna help me either. But, oh well. At least it's the test server. That's what I get about freaking talking and driving. Alright, back to the garage. I'm glad I got that out of my system. Oh, Lord. Alright. This is not going well on the test server here. Let me get to this tank, since this is the major one that has changed outside of the Super Conqueror. I'm probably just gonna hop into the couple TDs here, Super Conqueror again, and I'll pop back over to the the live server. Let me get this guy kitted out here. Yep, gotta love flipping my tank over there. Alright, aiming times 3. Yeah, I might as well go for that. And you guys know me, I have a little bit of OCD. I must add a little bit of pizzazz onto the tank here. Alright, so let's hop into this guy. I guess that emoji I was just talking about came in handy there. More or less, the FV4005 here. It's considered pretty much in a live server one of the worst tier 10s. Not by a far margin, because there's also the Object 268, but more or less what they're doing with it, they're adding mobility, gun accuracy, and handling while on a move, mainly with rotating its turret. It's still not terribly accurate because it does have a 183mm gun, and they also added some gun depression to it as well. Not enough, because the turret is so massive that you're never going to be able to hide this thing, but it's actually a definite improvement. But more or less, in a way, this is why I don't want them. They're talking about replacing the FV215B 183, basically removing it, turning it into like a special tier 10, and replacing it with another TD. I'm fine with them replacing it at the end of the Tortoise line, but I think they should move it over to this TD line and just have 2 different tier 10 TDs to choose from the Conway. Reason being, this tank, even though they're rebalancing and buffing it, giving this thing more mobility and a little bit of gun handling and depression is just gonna let people race out and die even faster. It's still massive, has no armor, and really having this large of a gun with the mobility and stuff it has with it, you know, it's an interesting combo, but is it that good? I don't know. For most matches, you are probably going to be better off with something else. So it's just one of those things that I definitely didn't hit anything there. I don't really like that idea of them with the 180 FE215B 183 making that into basically a locked tier 10 tank that no one can advance to anymore once they change it. But I do think the changes to this tank, it's definitely going to make it better by far, but isn't going to make it, you know, good enough to really make a difference. I'm not too sure. I think the changes to the tanks before it are definitely nice. The Conway I plan on hopping into here next. That tank, you know, got a new gun it can pick from, and it also, basically the new gun has 10 degrees of gun depression. It looks pretty, not to say overpowered, but it looks pretty awesome, the new gun on that thing. Alright, I was expecting some company over here. Oh, Lord. I don't even know why I took that shot. He wasn't right there. I'd say I don't know any of these names here. I'm sure you guys know that though. Oh, I have not done anything. Oh, Lord. See if I can actually hit this. AMX looked like it was going up that way, but I guess not. Oh. And here I go. Luckily this thing only has three shots, but it can definitely pump out some damage. Luckily though, I have a good team. Thank you, team, for carrying me here. I certainly did not do anything this match outside of, yeah, I got one shot. At least I'm getting all the little jitters out here on the test server instead of the live server. Are you kidding me? Come on. Stay right there. Let me aim in for frickin' 20 seconds. And I'll finally kill you. Hello, Dean. I'll say I'll get around someday. I have some videos of Levi I can post up on his channel, but I haven't gotten around to that. I need to pull them off of my old phone, which somehow I got to second most amount of damage. I have no clue, but case in point of this tank, even though it's getting buffed, you're gonna see a lot of this. I don't know if they specifically did that, but it seemed, yeah, they took some shots, but like this guy shot 4 times, 2 times, only once. The thing is still massive. Like it's just so big and takes so much damage because it has no armor, especially on the turret, but even the hull, to where comparing it even to the 183, it's just it's so large to where it's good in theory. I don't know how well it's actually gonna work as far as the buffs go, but I'm gonna hop into the Conway for a match here because the Conway has a new gun available to it that I am interested in trying. Honestly, the changes to this line, I've been wanting to go down this line for some time. but not even to get to tier 10, just to go up to tier 9, to where this gun on the Conway looks pretty damn good. But essentially between the two here, the 120.32 accuracy, 1.9 aiming time, a little over 3,000 DPM, and 400 alpha. But if you go to the new one, you have 600 alpha, 2,500 DPM, which isn't that huge of a drop off. If you think about it, it's one shot, but you do lose some accuracy and aiming time. It's just this tank, its top gun, if you use the 5.5 inch, the new gun, it's a lot more flexible of a tank, whereas the 120 has less gun depression, more DPM, accuracy, and penetration's about the same, but this has a APCR premium round, and this one has a HESH premium round. They're two different ones. The 5.5, the new one, which I'm going to be using here, which it kind of looks like a large conish gun that you let me find okay, aiming time's low enough I can pop on Code Optics. The VK3601H, it reminds me of that. Anyway, let me up. But the gun here, even though the HESH might not always be useful, on the test server at the very least, if you're fighting all high tiers, but basically you have a 770 damage, 200 pen round. It could be very dangerous against a tier 8 and a tier 7 that it comes across. It's gonna be pretty funny. Food mower, please stop spamming about apples, but I'm glad you like apples. I like apples as well. Hello, Jacob. Thank you, Dean. I was say I changed around a couple things here, yeah. Which I think some of you guys see. As far as sponsorships, I added the new little emotes here to where I know other streamers have it, but this is new for me. I'm probably going to regret putting my chef image up there. And then for tips as well. But yeah, it is really expensive to HESH rounds. And even tips. I'm just repeating these ones here. That's not the one I run up to repeat. There we go. Levi hoarding all the tips from me. Seems about right. What am I most looking forward to? Honestly, the Super Conqueror. Nice one, Andrew. Hello, Alex. Nice to see you. But yeah, the Super Conqueror is what I'm looking forward to. They've talked about that tank for about, I'd say 2.5 years now, to where even I don't mind the FE215B heavy. It's definitely not the best tank, but I think it, it's different, and I like different sometimes. But I'm glad they're keeping it in. But I think the Super Conqueror, which thank you very much for the subscription, Alex. I think the Super Conqueror, for those that ground down that line just to be disappointed with the tier 10, that's gonna be a not to say easy tank to play, but I think a lot of people are gonna like that tank because it has just enough gun depression. It's got a pretty easy to understand frontal turret, or not frontal turret, frontal armor scheme, to where it's just easy to play, while also being pretty damn good. It's hard to explain. You know, I only played the one match in it on the stream here, but just looking at the stats and the way that the turret's set up and the armor scheme, it's a, you know, it's more like an it's an E5 that is a little bit more, you know, well protected in the front on the turret compared to the hull. But the hull just mainly has that lower glacis weak spot, whereas the E5's lower glacis, it's a little bit stronger. But who knows? We're gonna have to wait and see. But I think the Super Conqueror is gonna be a pretty damn good public tier 10 heavy. I don't think it's gonna get used a ton in Clan Wars, just because, you know, it's good, but it doesn't have any like standout stats in any one area to really, I feel like, make it in Clan Wars and competitive play. Which, thanks for the subscription, Alex, but yeah. Try not to, you know, just spam like emojis and stuff. Not that I think you're doing it maliciously. Take that. Let's try one of these nice little Hess shells here if I can prevent myself from dying. Even though I might regret loading up a Hess shell if I had to shoot through. I can shoot through cover here if I had a standard shell. Crap. Come on, Mr. Bat. You wanna go this way. Or not. Really? Oh my god. Thanks, Azul, for tipping Levi. Uh-oh, don't. Whoa, come on. Trying to shoot him. Which I'll probably open the queue up after this battle, because I'm gonna hop into the Super Conqueror and then probably the live server after that. We just don't have any HP going for us here. Crap. Why are we pushing out into their tanks like this? Uh-oh, it looks like he's coming my way now. Nope, he's just sitting right there. I'm probably gonna screw this up by sitting on the cap, to be honest, but it's just he can one-shot me and I cannot one-shot him. Yep. He just drove by and hello, Crazy Monkey and Mojo. That was honestly frustrating. Oh well. Alright. Let's get things going here. Let me pop over Super Conqueror once more. But comparing, I'm going to compare it closest to the T110E5. But looking between the two, for the Super Conqueror T110E5, basically the DPM, they're virtually identical. Super Conqueror inches out a little bit better accuracy, aiming time's a wash. E5 does have 1 degree more gun depression, and then average pen basically the same as well. The main difference you're going to see, now this is a little bit misleading, the hull armor. The E5 I do think has the better hull front, but the Super Conqueror's upper plate is actually pretty much immune to almost everything, outside of like premium APCR shells. Heat won't pen it, but APCR can from like tier 10 TDs. But the turret fronts, I think the Super Conqueror inches out the E5 just by a little bit. And then speed's comparable between the two. View range though, the Super Conqueror beats out the E5 a little bit. I think I have them set up pretty similar there, but I didn't open up the thing yet. Sorry guys. You gotta wait till it says open queue here. There we go. Which thanks Clint for purchasing a deluxe challenge. Which tank would you like for that? Alright, so now tank requests are open, guys, if you'd like to request anything. Hey, little bud, you want some biscuits? I'm not gonna make him get up for this one. Thanks Uber for purchasing Michael Bay Place tanks. Which tank would you like with that? Which, if any of you guys, for the deluxe challenge and also the Michael Bay, you know, if you want a tank I don't own on the live server, you can ask. You know, I can play a different one on the test server before popping off here, if you would like. Alright. Trying to read and drive. But yeah, just let me know here before the end of the... Okay, the E100. And then, Clint, which tank would you like for the deluxe challenge? Or Clint, are you Sir Noob a lot? I was about to say on Fussbot here, it shows you up as Clint. I don't know if you might have switched your name. It's based off of your channel ID for Fussbot, so sometimes switching your name, it won't switch between the two. Even though there is a command for that, I do need to figure that out. Yes, it is. Everything's illegal in New Jersey. Come on. Okay, you're Sir Nubalat. I was gonna say, that makes a lot more sense now. Oh lord. I don't know if this is gonna go well, guys. Might need to start loading some Hesh rounds up here. But yes, I can do the Patriot for the challenge. So after this battle, I'm gonna hop over to the live server. And I'm going to start off with the challenge, then I'm going to hop on the Michael Bay Place tanks, then I'll get to tank requests after that. He's using full APCR, which honestly is a little silly. Both of the... I'm going to feel bad though if I die to these guys, because they're just rounding the corner like... Yeah. They honestly deserve to die. Full APCR rounding a corner like that? Nah. Test server, regular server? No. No. Oh god, I got more challenges. Okay, IS-7 for a standard challenge from Andrew. Okay. Thank you. Oh, lots of challenges and everything here. But yeah, as far as challenges and stuff go, please, you know, be respectful for the people that are purchasing them, and, you know, don't try to sneak something in there. Which I am, honestly, I'm working on a way for YouTube sponsors to be able to, currently Fussbot doesn't have, outside of the different coins, I wanted to make special commands and stuff. That's probably something he's going to patch in here soon, because a lot of people are asking for it. But I want to, you know, do some special things for Fussbot for them, for sponsors. Possibly even for challenges, you can get one a stream or something like that. I don't know if it's specifically going to be that, because I might dig myself a hole there very deep, very quick. But yeah. Alright, so let me get the challenges here first. Oh god, I can't even spell Patriot. Alright, so we have Patriot, E100 for the Michael Bay, IS-7 for another challenge. Alright, let me pop over servers here, so it's just gonna momentarily be black here before it switches back over. So don't be alarmed. Creating little notes here. Please don't sign me up for spam mail. Alright, so let's get these tank requests here. I'm gonna do my best to get to as many of these as possible. It's not full as of right now. Whoops. Your alarm. Alright, there we go. That's all the tank requests right now. I'll probably say, you know, anyone that keeps requesting tanks, I'll definitely add them on, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to them all, since, you know, it's only a little over an hour here for the stream now. Let me get a couple personal reserves going. Well, yes, you can get bonds coming next patch for more battles, you know, tier 8 to 10, I believe it is, and also for basically the medal, not all these medals, but the basically harder to get medals like Top Gun, High Caliber, Confederate, Pools medal, stuff like that. You'll be able to get bonds for them as well. Alright, so T26E5 Patriot. We have a deluxe challenge here that Sir Nubalot purchased. So with that, I've got to do... It depends on the tier. If I'm top tier in this, I'm going to consider that this has a lot of armor. If I'm against a lot of 9s and 10s, it's only going to be 2 times the hit point total here. So let's see what we got. Okay, so I've got to get to 3,000 because against these tanks, you can argue that this has armor against 9s and 10s, but for this specific matchup, I'm going to say I'm not going to be bouncing too many shells. So I've got to reach at least 3,000 HP as far as damage, assist, and blocked. Vinny, would I rather have seen the Chieftain instead? Of course. I think most people would, but at the same time, I do think the Super Conqueror, a lot of people are gonna like it. Like, I think a lot of people are gonna like that tank. And even the tier 9 Conqueror basically is a Super Conqueror in a way. It just doesn't have as much space armor, specifically I think on the hull. It only has basically the space armor on the turret, which, ooh, I am not going down there basically alone. Yeah, actually, I can better. I'm gonna go for it. But even the tier 8 Carnivarn, I think, is gonna turn from it's pretty mediocre right now. It's gonna be not like godly, but it's gonna be enjoyable. Usually, you know, I go off of if a tank's fun or easy to play. I think it's definitely not going to feel like in your face, super heavy, you know, blow you away. But thank you, Artie. You know, they're definitely making that tank a lot easier to actually play from the next patch on. But yes, essentially with the Chieftain, their current plan is to start it off of the Churchill gun carrier. Gun carriage or whatever the hell it is. Nobody plays that tank seriously, so I don't even bother to know its name. That's what's taking them a very long time. To where I believe they're, as far as what I've seen people kind of talk about as far as what tanks could fill out a line, you have Valiant, I think, 2 of them, heavy tanks that the British are capable of fitting in. There's, right now we have the, what is it, FV 201 or something, the tier 7 British heavy. There's actually a upgun version of that with a little bit more armor that could possibly fill in at tier 7 with an upgun version. Then basically of a Chieftain prototype and the Chieftain MK6. I think the problem with the Valiant tanks is they're pretty slow. Their armor I don't think works too well. I think there's a lot of problems actually with them, which is probably what's holding the line up. Because the FV heavy, as far as the upgun premium version of what we already have in the game, you know, that I don't think is too hard for them to implement. Which I don't think I'm going to be able to win this challenge, mainly because, well, A, I'm kind of already magnet right now, but we just lost our entire flank over there. I can't push because, yeah, I'm not going to get any help pushing on these people. But hopefully I didn't miss anything important in chat. I can see a lot of very long messages that are pretty difficult for me to catch up on. But I'm gonna try to complete this challenge here. It's just, this is probably one of the worst maps I could possibly get to try to do a challenge at bottom tier. It's just, I literally hate this map. Bottom tier. It's just, it's so hard to actually do anything because everything's just brawling and it turns into one big, basically, showdown. And typically your side, with my luck, is the one that loses out early on, and then you're just stuck, you know, bearing the brunt of the wave of enemies coming towards you. Which, nice to see that my penetration is not exactly working. Granted, I am shooting heavy tanks in the front, but we'll see if I can inch this out here. Whew! I actually just blocked a little bit of damage. I got like 800 to go. to me. Oh my god, he's throwing HE at me of all things. I'm not gonna get this. That T49, that's probably the least likely way, which he actually technically just pushed me over the challenge level. Because basically two times the HP total, but somehow I got a most amount of damage in that match. Low under 2,000. I don't even know how I got top damage on my team, but I barely got over. But honestly, I feel like that was a little bit of a cheap way to win a cheap way to win a challenge there. So I'll still say that you won that, Sir Noob a lot. Which, thanks for watching, Graham. Have a nice night. But yeah, I'll still credit you to Levi Biscuits there, because I feel like that was a pretty that was a pretty cheap way to win a challenge there at the end. You know, damage is damage, but yeah. Alright. But I'm just gonna credit you back the Levi Biscuits. Technically I won. But yeah. I think that was a little bit that was a special circumstance there. Alright. Because I honestly played that terribly. Alright, so I'm gonna hop into an HE 100 Uber purchased Michael Bay plays tanks in the E100, which is, everybody knows Michael Bay loves explosions, you know, Transformers movies, stuff like that. So here we go, HE only match, and he chose the E100. So that stinks, Poser. One of your video cards died. I'm very nice for not taking your biscuits. Levi isn't very nice though. He would have took those things and yeah. I know you're kind of joking. Honestly, if it happened to anybody, I would have just giving you back the price of it, not doubled them like if you have won, but technically I won the challenge though. But I just feel like, you know, I was playing really bad there, and for a T49 to ram me at the end and push me over by that last 100, that I feel like that's a little bit of a cop out. Feel free, Daniel. I was about to say, as far as goes, everything's just standard HE if there is a premium HE round too. But up after this, we have a regular challenge in the IS-7. So, oh god, we have a lot of people on that flank over there. Hopefully they push. So with that, I believe I'm gonna have to double check. It's 1.5 times the HP total for the challenge there. Oh, are you kidding me? Our Centurion Action X just drowned himself. Awesome. Gotta love it. That face. There's a reason why like some things like the Michael Bay place tanks and stuff cost, you know, they cost a little bit of Levi biscuits, because some tanks you could very, you know, you can basically ruin a match for me. But it would be interesting to see. Which, for some of you that have changed your name around to where Fussbot doesn't really notice it, of course he starts throwing heat. I am going to have to figure out that command. There is a command that you can update your name automatically for Fussbot. Even though I think I can manually do it too. Are you kidding me? Like that, he just penned me with heat on a frickin' angled turret front. I can't even spot the Strev 1030. They're both just chucking premium now though. It's getting a little bit insane. I guess maybe the Centaurian didn't mean to drown himself. I don't know. Maybe someone pushed him in the water. Alright, so an IS-7 got past me. Got a copious amount of premium spam though going on here. Honestly though, yeah. That other flank killed it for us. Patriot, pull back. I thought this IS-7 was gonna drop down on us. We're still not completely out of the woods here, as far as being able to win. HE only here is going to be a little bit of a challenge though, taking on this here oh my god, this here IS-7. Lord, looks like I'm over angling, but IS-7 does not have the best penetration even on its premium shell. Uh-oh, I'm not angled right now. I can't damage him. Fear me. 200 damage at a time. Over-angled a little bit. This is probably where people are watching. Is that guy really throwing HE? Oof. I bounced him. At least I can still block damage. Oh, I almost rammed him to death. I really wished I could ram him to death. Putting up a fight here with HE only, though. These matches are always fun. I'm not sure. Oh shit. How did I just miss that? He had heat. Tisk. 0 damage too? Holy crap. How lucky can one tank get here? Take that. He's calling me a coward. I don't even know how that one shell did zero damage. That already is really pissed off at me. So who's the T-28? What do you want me to do? Push the 1-2 line? Just me and one Patriot? Yeah. I'd like to see them do any better. Especially doing HE only. Problem I have here though is the Leopard prototype is using heat. He's on the cap now. Shit. Maybe he's not. That's even worse for us. Cool, he got a reset. Nah, the Strev got me. Oh well. I was trying my best. That guy's really angry though. Honestly, yeah. You don't be that much of a dick to your teammate. Whew. Oh well. I know you're joking, Daniel. But thanks, Frandl, but yeah, he was joking a little bit. Alright, so Michael Bay Plays Tanks is now in the books. I think that was a pretty successful match. But oh, we had some salty teammates there. I got a mark of excellence out of that. My second mark. But got the most amount of damage in the match. And the people, yeah, this guy who was sitting in the base, and you know, they did do well. Bleh. But still, like, come on. You don't be a dick to your teammate like that. Like, they were saying, oh, he's been, you know, sitting in that spot the whole match. It was me and a Patriot on that flank alone. We weren't going to push it ourselves. But for HE only, 3,600 damage, 4,600 blocked, and 800 assist. Unfortunately, at the end there, I probably should have... I should have not pushed up that, Sorry, Nate. I'm only soloing. You know, hopefully here in the next, you know, maybe 2 weeks, I'll be back to doing some platoons. But, yeah, as of right now, it's going to be solo only here. So we have an IS-7 challenge up here now. So this was a normal challenge to where I've got to do 1.5 times the HP total of the tank in blocked, assist, and, you know, damage directly. So I've got to reach 3,600 to be able to win this. Thanks, Uber. Hopefully you enjoyed that match there. That was pretty fun. Thanks for picking the E100 too. That definitely helped. It's all good though about the chat though. I'm sure Daniel understands. But no hard feelings to anybody. I'm gonna head to the forest. But yeah, screw that one person cursing at me in Spanish in the game. Though, people that hang around after they're dead just to berate people, it's annoying. Alright, I'm spotted already, meaning I don't even know what that means. Ah, no, they had someone pop up right over here. Sorry for the jitteriness. You should have said that. I could have inched out a little bit more damage there. It was fun nonetheless. Even though I'm sure that I have some people like reporting me or something at this point. Let's see, I think my team is gonna come in and help me. Or not. Thank God. Thank you, T30. Very rarely will you say thank you to a T30, but I'm taking very stupid damage here, to say the least. You might actually get... Yep, you might actually get this challenge. I have a feeling that the arty is not going to come off of me. This guy, I don't know how he has not penned me, but the freaking heat shell on the Chinese tier 9 and tier 10 TD is at about 390 millimeters, I believe, of pen. So I have no idea how he has not penetrated me. But yeah, muerte. That is death. It's all good though, guys. Thank you very much for the tip. I got a name, it's Jim Croce? Croce? Well, it's supposed to be Jim Crow. Oh. Over my head. Thank you very much for the tip. Adding the Levi's pile to guard here. If there wasn't for that TD down there, I would push, but literally, yeah. Artie, why you gotta love me? I got an idea. It's gonna take me a little bit to get over here, but you didn't come here for Spanish lesson. Which I've actually thought I was gonna. I actually think some of the basically filtered out words I have on Fussbot here, I might remove a few of them to where, you know, there's always enough of you guys who are mods around, hanging around at times now to where I feel like you guys will be able to ban the trolls and stuff, but anyone just chatting regularly will be fine. I'm gonna leave up some definite words that say someone's watching and like their kids watching or something. You don't want them seeing them, but and unfortunately we just lost some tanks. Seems like everyone's copying, pushing over to this side. Literally though, that Chinese, when I saw him throwing heat, I should be dead right now. I don't even know how I bounced him twice with where he was shooting me. Do it, I can do it. Oof. I honestly was not very confident there, even though I was saying I can do it. I will be completely honest, I did not think I was going to get that shot. Come on, T100. Oh, you chickened out. Bitter? Obviously, I don't watch enough US streamers. Come on. Reset somebody else. Here's where I end them dead. See if I can get him. Trying to get him to chase me, but I don't think he's that dumb. But yeah, this isn't completely already safe sitting here, unfortunately. Nor are my TDs really wanting to push out, which is the most annoying part of everything. Thank you. And I guess bounced him. I think I got over the challenge level though. I think. Could be wrong. Although, you know, getting smacked here, you know, by now we're gonna lose this, honestly. Our TDs are just freaking, you know, sitting there early on is not a bad thing, but sitting there for that long and letting your team just get pushed on and killed, that's not all right. But anyway, for the challenge, it was a normal challenge. I had to do 1.5 times the HP total. So I had to reach 3,600. Got over that by what, 800 HP. So thank you very much for the challenge, Andrew. Inched you out by a little bit though. Alrighty then. Time to get to some tank requests here. I'm gonna try my best to get through all of them, which I am gonna just trim some of these down, and I'm sure you guys are gonna be alright with this who had requested these. I'm just gonna rearrange them a little bit because I just played the E100, and the 2 grinds I'm gonna push to the end. Just if I don't get to them, I'm alright with missing them. But we have a Levi pick, so with that, why don't I hop into... I think Levi wants me to play a M48 Patton. Oh, I know it. I know what the word is now. Nice Cuppa, I think, got it there. Which? Hello, Phil. Nice to see you. Actually, one thing I am, Ryan kind of helped me out with it. Maybe it'll be up by the next stream. For people who are sponsors. Honestly, I'm not original. I'm the most creative person in the world. I saw someone else do it really cool where they had a green screen behind them. Ryan won't let me get one though. You can blame her. And as people sponsored, they hung stuff up behind them with their names on it. But I'm gonna do like a little sponsor board here, where for everyone who sponsors, you're gonna get pinned up on a board. It won't always be visible, but it'll be visible, I think, from Levi's camera when I pan over to that. But that's just gonna be something a little bit different. I knew he was gonna shoot me too. Please hit my turret. Uh-oh. Thank you. I got a little caught there. Just nobody on my team's pushing, of course. But at least we have a lot of people in the town. This guy is not gonna want to sit there because I can just double tap 2 and or I didn't even need a double tap 2 there. I would not go toe to toe with a tank 2 tiers higher than me like that. Especially the M48. This I can't praise this thing enough to where I feel a little dirty playing this now. You guys, you know, for those of you who watch me a lot, you know I typically don't think a tank is like overpowered or unbalanced, but this is probably the closest thing you have to it right now, in my opinion. Other people disagree, but it's just, it feels like almost the perfect tank. Probably the closest thing to a main battle tank that you have in World of Tanks right now. Especially if you chuck heat out of it and be a filthy gold spammer. Sad face. No, I can't see him anymore. Gotta take a nice hot shower after playing this tank. I'm gonna forego fighting against him right now to help this mouse. I saw him inching up there, or I'll give him a little helping hand. Waiting for them to shoot. Or die, that also works. Whew. So much for Russian bias, though. Might sting. I want to make sure that they're not going to block my shell. Oh, why'd you fix your track, dude? Ah, shit, I shot the rock. I always forget that there's a little frickin' rock there. You're ruining my plan. I'm only at 6,200 damage, come on. I was on the test server earlier, Gus. Now I'm on the regular server here. I know, this is such a balanced tank right now. Balanced by bringing freedom to everyone's doorstep. It's so balanced that it makes enemy artillery just spontaneously combust. I probably just should have capped, but I'm going for it. It's probably not gonna. The RU-251's probably well away from here if he has any sense. Yeah, pretty decent match though. 7,000 damage. Yeah, I was more or less I shied away from the field. It just got a little too risky for me to keep tanking shots there. But just take a look at what 7,000 damage gets you currently in an M48 Patton. Only a Mastery Badge second class, which most of that damage I shot, it wasn't like I wasn't spotting it and stuff like that. And got a high caliber award, Confederate. It just, needless to say, this tank is a little bit overbuffed right now. Yeah. Granted, the experience total, that is a little bit low to expect an ace tanker or even a first class at tier 10. You really have to start pushing over 1100, closer to 1200 experience to get those totals. Nonetheless, pretty damn good match. Pretty much just kept tearing them apart though. And like I did show the tank really quickly on the test server. The next patch, it's actually changing from the M48 Patton, technically the M48A1 Patton to the M48A5 Patton, and it's getting a, they changed the turret the last patch. They're changing the hull the next patch as well, to where it actually armor wise, I think it gets a pinch better, because I think it actually gets a little bit smaller, the hull, technically, and the shape changes a little bit as well. Don't quote me on that, but I do think the hull change it's receiving on the next patch is going to make it even better than what it is currently. So for those of you that have M48s, you can rejoice. Well, honestly, that tank, it's probably the best tier 10 medium right now, at least for standard battles, but the only reason is burst damage is a little bit more important if you're, you know, like platooning, playing strongholds, what have you, clan wars. Well, if you ask that one person a few matches ago that was playing the Artie, I'm obviously a tomato too. Even though I wonder if Spanish players don't use tomato, if they use like tomatillo or something. Oh, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. Honestly, almost all day in the kitchen, we all joke around. Like, kitchens, typically it's very true that there's some very crude humor. A lot of jokes that are somewhat not appropriate going on, and everyone's fine with it. Luckily, though, everyone's, like, we have a few people that are Hispanic that work for us, to where, luckily, all their families are safe. The 2 earthquakes in Mexico over the past, week, it's pretty scary. I'm glad everyone's alright, that they know. Whew, that guy got destroyed. Granted, I was kind of joking with him, asking... I'm not even going to say the joke. It probably will offend somebody here. Or not just here, but I probably shouldn't say the joke that is in my head right now. Honestly, stat-wise, Wargaming, the next patch, I completely forgot to go over in the test server. They're changing personal ratings around, the personal rating system. It's going to be on a tank-by-tank basis now, and it's going to be based off of like a tank's specific characteristics. So say like a heavy tank, like a mouse, it's going to be weighted more towards blocking damage, surviving the match, than say spotting and dealing damage. Whereas if you're in a light, you're going to be focused more on spotting, some damage, stuff like that. Awesome, I got T95'd. Obviously I was sticking out a little too much. I guess that's what I get. I'm still getting the hang of the STG. It's just a little squishy. Squishier than I would like. So we have a tortoise up next here. Trying to get through at least all the standard standard tank requests here. Well, that's the thing, Wargaming, I would say, basically they're extremely close to, they have the Wargaming Launch Center that you, obviously you guys have, because you have World of Tanks installed, or at least most of you, to where, you know, you can launch World of Tanks, World of Warships, World of Warplanes, all from the same little client. They're actually going to be implementing, basically, approved mods, essentially, very soon in Wargaming's you know, timeline, basically within the next year. I would say probably by the end of this year, as far as 2017. Yeah, 2017. More or less what that's going to mean is, like, say major mods. I don't think they're going to do it for, say, like tank skins, because that's as easy as just changing a little file on your PC. The client is basically going to require mods to have essentially like a key from Wargaming, basically approve mods to actually work with the game, or else, I don't know, you risk getting banned, or it just doesn't allow you to play, something like that. To where things like XVM might be going by the wayside because Wargaming's coming out with their new personal rating the next patch. I completely forgot about that on the test server to take a look at that. But that's going to be almost a nail in the coffin from the way it looks like they're implementing it. I think the majority of people, outside of like the completely obsessed people with their whole Unicum status, I don't think people are going to honestly care about win rate 8, even more so now. But I'm rambling here. I don't even know where I'm at on the map. More or less, basically, a lot of the major mods like XVM and stuff are going to need to get approval from Wargaming, to where we're probably going to start seeing them clamping down on some mods that they do not want in the game. But yes, essentially they're going down a path that I think they should have done, you know, a little bit ago. Like, in the early days of World of Tanks, mods are something that were very much needed because the UI was extremely clunky, you know, the minimap was barren, and, you know, mods solved a lot of things, and they honestly made the game better. Because a lot of the features that you see now, like the circles and the minimap, they were basically a result from mods. But in today's game, I feel like mods, they're not needed as much. A lot of them are just visual, which they're not going to be honestly kicked out by this Wargaming approval thing. But the mods that actually, you know, provide, say, an unfair advantage in the game, or basically create issues like XVM with people basically being hateful towards one another because, you know, being civil is that difficult, you're gonna see them kind of be discouraged by Wargaming. Maybe not right away, but, you know, eventually I think it'll lead to them definitely being slowly taken out of the game. Yeah, I've never personally, you know, been a fan of mods because pretty much any game I play, I just play vanilla, to where I'm not too picky. The only mods I've really used before were Jimbo's Crosshair mod early on in World of Tanks, because the aiming circle and everything was god-awful. It didn't even have a reload timer on it. And also, in my old PC, well before I started streaming and stuff, I had mods to basically drop basically the requirements for graphics even lower, just to make the game run a little bit better. Nothing like removing the trees and stuff like that, but it just had to do with Wargaming for like a few patches added in this god-awful haze and fog on every single map, to where it just killed your FPS if you had a crappy GPU. Like, this is like first like year and a half of World of Tanks, where for those patches I had to use a mod just to be able to record gameplay. Whenever I hit the record button with the freaking haze, it just, my FPS was like unplayable. Hello Rag, nice to see you. Thursday is bring your mod to work day. Which I saw someone on Facebook post already know your streamer's like favorite tank. They had the tortoise, or no, they had the M3 lead down for Rita Gamer, even though it should have been the tortoise. She really likes that. Quickie Baby was like the comment. There's a couple other people. I'm like, really? I'm not on there with the T110E3? Let's just keep you there. Thank you for using your repair kit. Wanted to Photoshop myself in now. No, I said you're staying there. You're staying there, JPZ 100. Even though already is, I told you to stay. Ew, I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm stunned. I should have started turning earlier. Since I was stunned, the JPZ was repairing like a second before I could shoot. Although I'm surprised this tortoise, he could have just popped him. But decent match for not knowing where I was going for the first few minutes. Which, hello Jerry, nice to see you. See you Rag, thanks for popping in. Hopefully you do well on your exam. I definitely hated tests. I always got a little too anxious, but I was never good at studying though. Nice, Gus. See, I like Rita though. Yeah, you can either use the LB command, or if you just type !point rank, that also works as well. I have to keep resetting my watch time and Levi biscuits, or else I'll always be at the top. I don't gamble them all away. But we're getting towards the end of the stream here. I'm definitely going to be able to do all the grinds here. I might try to hop back on the test server just to take a peek at the new personal ratings and see if they have that in there. But thank you for, you know, thank you for the tip tonight though, Jim. Or I should do quotations. But the challenges were really fun tonight, and the HE only match. But thank you also for sponsoring tonight, Andrew. As I'd say, the sponsorships for YouTube, they're a new thing to where, for anyone interested, it's essentially like Twitch subscriptions, to where the more people that sponsor here, I'll be able to put up custom emojis. I currently only have one up. You also get a badge. You earn 5 times the Levi biscuits watching, or I think it's 5. I might have 4 down, but let me double check here. Yeah, it's 4 times. Let's change that to 5 here. So you earn 5 times the Levi biscuits, since I just said that. So essentially you get 5 per minute instead of 1 per minute on the grand scheme of things. And down the road I plan on adding a couple other things once it's available in a Fussbot, like nothing like, you know, I don't want to make it feel like, say, pay to watch, but just some like cool little commands that are gonna be a little funny, which I made a very bad decision here. Take that, ground. Don't think I'm gonna survive this. Yep, I'm dead. Unfortunately, I don't have the Yag Panther 8.8. Sorry about that. I should not have pushed out this far. Yep. Sad face. But M3 Lee here. is my next my next request. But I'm not taking any more tank requests right now, Panzer. It's right towards the end of the stream here. Sorry. I can't go any past 9. I'm literally after work. I was at work from 5 a.m. to about like 3:15 p.m. today. Got home after Thursdays. I always go to my grandparents and I bring them over. I prep like 2 or 3 meals. This week they got lucky. I did 4 meals for them since they're both they're getting a little up there in age. But my grandfather, he's at the tail end of, he's going through chemotherapy and radiation, all that stuff, to where he's kind of like drained. But got home from that, shoved like food in my mouth because I hadn't eaten all day outside of like picking like cucumbers and stuff when I, you know, was in between cooking orders. And I'd like passed out from a food coma. I'm surprised Levi didn't wake me up. Like, come on, walk time. Sorry for the match, low-key. I think you were the one that requested the M4, right? Oh, I missed. Not too concerned about that PZ, but my team needs me here. Trying not to get out where Artie can hit me. Try to pull them back a little bit. Ooh. God. I don't have too many people behind me, unfortunately, too. So these PZ-1Cs are able to flank me now. That's really unfortunate. Bad time for my nose to be itchy. Come on, guys. Like, are you literally gonna let them shoot us from the hill here? This is a really sucky way for us to lose. And Alago got me. But, like, granted, we're losing a lot of tanks. It just, I don't know how like half of my team died, but nobody was even remotely covering this area. If they had done that, I was honestly confident in the M3. I would have been able to kill every other person in front of me here. The only person was that Matilda here that would have posed a threat. But, oh well. Sorry, Loki. Feel free, yes, to request at the next stream. But yeah, unfortunately today, since it was a test server, you know, I can't really pop back the some tanks though. Alright, so we got the Prima Victoria here. And then I want to pop onto the test server just at the end here to take a look at the personal rating to see if they put the changes up for that already. If they didn't, though, I'll just pop into one match on there at the end. But my next stream's going to be coming up this Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. To where I mentioned it earlier, but I'm not gonna change like all my which I think I forgot to say. Thanks for the tip, Lobobo. Next Wednesday, I'm not going to be streaming. It's going to be Tuesday. So basically, I'm going to be streaming Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday morning, instead of Wednesday morning. I had to flip flop days with somebody. So. But yeah, since it's just one day though, I'm not gonna... Oh god, our team's just... Honestly, yeah, all these people are going on. They're being associated with that person. They should probably be in bed. Past their bedtime. Why did I go out in front of him again? Come on, guys, get off the frickin' hill. Like, going up there is... The E50's dead. T-54 is gonna die. Yeah. There's just no point in me staying here. Like, if all three of us had stayed down low, we could have held them off. Nope, just go up high and be frickin' idiots. Like... Hopefully Nice Cuppa, if all things work out like they should and we're kind of planning, she should, well, hopefully, sometime towards the end of October, both of her and I are gonna actually have very similar schedules for probably the first time since we first started dating, so it's gonna be nice. We actually get to, I see her for about maybe a total of like 10 hours a week, you know, where we're both awake. Right now, so yeah. It's a little bit low. No, he hit me in the hole. And the T-49 has turned blue, if he wasn't already a self-detriment to our team. I'm gonna die here, but at this point, does it really matter? He can flank me. One of them's gonna drop down there, but yeah, at this point, we're down by 8 tanks. Get it over with. Definitely squeaking as much damage as I possibly can out. We talk about this T-32? No, this Jarvis one got me. Oh well. Did almost 2,300 damage, 1,400 block, or no, 1,300 block and 1,000 assist, but yeah. Definitely did not go well for us, and thank you very much, Platoon 1, for just... Honestly, they ruined that whole match for us. T49 was shooting and TKing people, essentially. E50 and T54 basically just threw the north there, trying to ram people off the frickin' mountain. Gotta love it. Alright, so I'm gonna start a raffle. Again, don't be alarmed, the lights are gonna turn out here for a second. Sorry for that very, very loud noise there. I'm just hopping onto the test server, but let's start a raffle here. Winner's gonna get 1,000 Levi biscuits. But yeah, I did the best I could there. Wanted to take a peek though to see if they might not have put it in yet on the first round of the test server here. No, they did not. They still have the personal rating up here, but essentially what we're gonna... Did not want to click on that one. Basically what they're going to be doing, I'm pretty sure it's this next patch that it's supposed to come, but we're probably not going to see it until the very end of the test. Which, let me hop into the Super Conqueror one more time. They're essentially changing the personal rating system for the Hall of Fame, which is on the World of Tanks website, but also I believe in the client as well. So they're taking the personal rating system and changing it to you know, right now personal rating I think it's a decent metric, but it doesn't really have any like benchmarks to, like, you know, compare yourself to where they're switching it to where, you know, they'll be able to tailor it to each individual tank based off of what it should, like, block and damage, survive, you know, do damage, assist, stuff like that. So my days off, I'm thinking usually this time of year it's hard for me, but usually it's Tuesday and Wednesday. But basically, now that it's the end of September, my days switch every week now, to where the only static one is typically I try to hold on to Wednesday since I stream early then. But this upcoming week, you know, I only have Tuesday off this upcoming week. So unfortunately I have to switch when it comes to parties. We have a lot of parties this time of year. They've already lost one FV4005 there. Guys are trying to get me. Feel special. Thank you for turning your turret. If he did not turn his turret, he'd still be alive. Which, the Super Conqueror, again, I think people are gonna love this tank. The turret armor frontally is awesome. The cupola, if people can hit it, they can pen you with tier 10 tanks, but there's very little like true weak spots outside of the lower plate. The upper glacis is honestly immune to Hess shells. Only like premium APCR you're gonna have to worry about. But heat shells, they can pen you where the space armor is not with your turret, or not on your turret. I mean, where I think that's where the WZ pen may. There are some spaces where heat, some high pen tier 10 heat can pen you, but alright, it's the test server. Time to load up a little bit of APCR here. I keep giving them freaking shots with their heat shells, honestly. I'm getting a little bit ticked off at myself for doing that. Get back here. Congratulations, Uber, on winning. Well, he bribed Levi tonight with a tip, a biscuit tip, and he also bribed me with a tip. Or, oh, I did it again. Sorry. Not that I think anyone remembers, but... Congratulations on winning, no. Oh, I deserve that. But I'm actually going to draw a second winner too, since I've been meaning to do raffles. Congratulations, Jerry, on winning. I've been meaning to do them each hour of a stream now, instead of just at the end. So I missed the mid raffle here. But... honestly, it all comes down to luck. I have been meaning to ask, though, that... ordering a pizza. Hello, Helder. But this is my last fight. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for the sponsorship, to Andrew. And thank you very much for the tips as well, guys. My next stream is going to be Sunday. I'm not going to be on the test server, I believe, on Sunday, like I was at the beginning of this one. But I'll be taking, you know, tank requests. I'm going to mix in a couple little grinds, since I can get the PZ7 done here soon, within the next week or so. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. For anyone who wants to test tanks out, you know, try to hop onto the test server. That way you can see if, you know, you actually like those high tier tanks that you're going to be pushing towards. But I'm hoping Sunday, by the next stream, I'll have a couple more things a little bit more polished here, as far as like the custom images and other little things too. But thanks again for watching, guys. Have a very nice night. I'm gonna be joining Levi here since he's thoroughly passed out here. Which, hello, Jack. Nice to see you. Which, Uber, you specifically, I think you're really gonna like this tank, for how down you were on the FV215B. So I think you're gonna like this one. But see you, Jack. Well, I'm logging off here. I really need some sleep since I got to get up to walk this little one at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. See you guys around. Have a very nice night, or very good start to your day, for a couple of you guys. Have a nice one.